listening to the Red Eye Hour.
You're now listening to the Red Eye Hour. I'm Zan.
I'm Jay Meeks.
Alright. So pause the shit. Hopefully it'll be a lot more smoother and it'll be edited out next time.
We'll see.
Go into like a more open thing. So I think you were actually saying that you actually had topics that you wanted to aim for, but to be honest, we can start anywhere.
I got some random shit.
Oh my god, I'm glad I'm recording.
What do you think of all the big hype recently about the UFOs and the UAPs, they're calling them now?
Well, a lot of these videos that they're talking about, the one that's most famous was the one that was actually made in like 2017 or something like that, or 2018. I'm not 100% sure. I guess probably somebody could look that up. But it was actually a long time ago, but they only recently said, and all they said was that it was a legitimate, actual, like, UFO. Or, not a UFO, it was a legitimate...
Is that the Tic Tac video?
No, it's not the TikTok video. It's the video where they show the little black dot on the radar, and it's like the Air Force. And the Air Force admitted that it is an actual Air Force thing, and that's the reason UFOs have been coming up in the media like a lot more. So I don't know if it's like real or not, but I've been watching a lot of the YouTubers that are kind of going over like a lot of things, and I don't know how much I'm kind of sold on it, but it does sound like we're making a big deal out of something that people were already making a big deal about, and all that was said was the government's like, hey, yeah, that's a real video by our planes. We don't know what that object is, so it's unidentified.
Right.
But they never said that was aliens.
No.
They never said that it was like...
And I don't think they're going to yet.
Yeah, but they admitted it was UFOs. And admitted they've had UFOs in the past.
And so the other recent story, like less than 2 weeks old, is that from like 2016 or 2019, the Navy ship, there was like 14 of them that surrounded the Navy ship. Mm-hmm. That's the recent one they've been talking about, and they're again saying like we're not sure what they are, but they are UFOs.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, then that's the newest one that the government's talking about. So now they're like,
okay, so they circle the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, a Navy ship off the coast of California.
That? What looks right?
Yeah.
This one?
That first one I think is right.
Oh, let's get close. On a pitch black night off the coast of California, newly leaked video allegedly of an upside-down pyramid UFO hovering above a Navy destroyer.
This is part of a much larger series of events that we're going to be learning about.
The Pentagon confirming the video was upside-down pyramid UFO above much.
Okay, I think I've seen this one, and the black dot, this one right here. This one is the one that I don't trust, and this is the one they keep posting all the time.
Every day.
So when you're watching this, what's moving? I wish I could almost show the viewers, because it feels like the background's moving, and they're clocking it by how fast the background's moving, but what if this is a blip? What if this is a lot closer? What if this is a bird, a bug on the thing? And they're literally clocking it at the speed of what the clouds are going by, and the speed the clouds are going by are about as fast as the planes are going. And I don't know how sold I am this being on a fucking alien.
Well, I guess because the other report on the same one is that there's actual pilots, like, their own eyes, like their witness testimony, you know what I mean?
I didn't hear the last part before testimony.
So that's the other part of that is, yeah, it's on radar, but they have the pilots, like, witness testimony.
Yeah, but only 2 of them, if I remember right. Now, this guy's getting ready to talk. And again, I could be wrong on some of this, but if I remember right, like only 2 of them really came out with their ideas on it being a UFO long beforehand. And only one of the pilots that was actually in the plane believed that it was like a UFO and not just something crazy they're picking up on their radar. So I feel like it's just so crazy that it's like, if the government's picking up all these UFO now, it's like, and I'm not denying there isn't any. I mean, there's that Iranian incident. You've heard of that, where the Iranian military, the Air Force, actually went against, supposedly fought actual aliens.
Shooting at the UFOs.
Yeah, and they got taken out in the desert, and they landed, literally around the thing. Right. And a lot of people are like, well, I mean, that could have been just ballistics from fucking Israel, just taking out them with their new fucking UAVs, you know?
Right.
And shit like that. But
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes pretty deep with the UFO thing.
I'm more sold on the idea, if I'm going to go for aliens that are actually watching us and among us, I'm going to go with either the Black Knight thing, where they
satellite?
have, that satellite thing,
Yeah.
because the idea behind it is they're just watching us, waiting for us to get to a point where maybe we're acceptable for society, or maybe we're ready to be conquered. I have no idea. That seems plausible to me because that seems like humans would react to something. And then also the idea that maybe they've been among us the whole time and mating with us for a long period of time. And I could be sold on the idea that maybe they've been among us, just like always here.
I kind of almost believe that.
Yeah, I just don't feel like, why? What is the purpose of sending like UFOs? And another thing is like if we're assuming they're advanced, right?
Right.
So they have to be more advanced in our military to some degree, right? Unless we're believing some crazy shit like we've been conquering aliens for a while and the government's not letting us anything when they have like laser guns attached to fucking F-15s or some shit.
Right.
But I just feel like, why would they now, knowing that we have cameras literally everywhere?
Right.
Like, they're not stupid. They have to understand that we capture that now. So if they were doing a hiding thing where they only wanted to probe our butts. But, if they're doing some subversion, then I would just feel like, why now would you expose yourself? What's the purpose of it?
They're here to evolve us. To
I could see that.
Like getting to like more maybe their level, maybe being able to,
or like the Covenant in Halo, or something like where they want us to be part of millions of other races and shit like that.
Yeah, well, they're like telepathic supposedly. That's supposedly how they talk to us.
Dude, I recently read this book that my sister recommended me read. That was by like Octavia Butler, some lady that lived a long time ago. So she lived in the time period where it would be rational to think America would blow USSR and themselves off the Earth, right, with nuclear warheads. And that kind of did happen, and then an alien race kind of came in to save what was left of humanity. But the way they wanted to do it is they wanted to mate with us to then create a new race, even different from the ones that were mating with them, the humans, to become another race. And then generations from now, humans would then intermix so much that the aliens that were called Uloi would then become constructs, and the constructs become closer and closer to humans until you really couldn't tell the difference between a human and a construct. But the whole purpose of that was they were then going to take the Earth and take us with them. And there was like, you were giving up all of your kind of like your own singular planet to join like a whole hive species. And theoretically, even though you're getting longer life, you're getting all these things from the aliens, you're not technically getting your race back. You're getting a new race that is now a mixture of both, that has interests in both. And I kind of think of that when I think of that, like the whole idea of mating, because even that didn't really give you the idea of like, what do you call it, injection theory, where aliens injected intelligence into humanity. It's like more like after the fact, like they're not injecting, they just believe that humanity cannot solve its problems without breeding with a higher intelligence like themselves. But they're not necessarily staying themselves afterwards either. They realize they won't be there after the humans mate with them either, even the people that are mating with them. So there's a really interesting storyline, and I kind of like see like there's like extremes on all sides. You have like Conrad, who's like a police officer who might as well be a Trumper or something. He would take on any alien, won't mate with them no matter what, And the aliens, they're like, they don't like plastics and shit like that. They'll like touch the back of your head. They could drug you and shit like that and make you feel things like horniness. So is it rape really when they actually do sleep with some of the humans? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting aspects of it. So I don't know. I don't trust no fucking aliens. I'd like to be the fucking...
They say, so here's one that I was just talking to my friend in New Mexico about. And he was like, this is down the wormhole of conspiracy theories, where supposedly like our military has been like working with them since the 40s and have like some like not contracts, but you know what I'm saying, like deals with the aliens, right? And they're saying that like they're not allowed to take anybody
kind of deals
from public. Well, I'm about to explain it. So they can't take people from public places like cities and like densely populated areas, but like national parks and shit, or like game open. If they need to like abduct humans. No, it's a weird one.
So like Predator kind of. like where they need to hunt some, but they don't want to fucking run the herd or something like that. Like the fucking Alien versus, the Predator out of the Predator universe, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Have you ever read too much into their universe at all?
Not too much. No.
Oh, well, like, they're kind of like, they'll hunt humans, but they're mainly, hunting is everything to the Predator people. And so, like, if that's what they're saying, like, it could be a deal like that, because some humans actually, after a while, do have some deals with the Predators. But, to be honest, the only time you ever get that universe is when they intermix the Alien universe into the Predator universe, because the Predator universe itself is usually just one singular soldier taking on one other singular soldier, or two Predators taking on each other for a prized animal that doesn't exist in the universe. But, other than that, it's usually Alien versus Predator, you get all that thing. And they do have deals with the humans. And I don't know if I trust that shit. I don't want to be fucking hunted by some goddamn predator. I understand they aim for killers, so they kind of give them like a humanity. Like they only take on like. Did you ever see the movie where it had Topher Grace in it? Predators.
Predators.
Yeah, with an S, and it was like kind of new age. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay, and like
If
that, I kind of like the idea they
about
place in that, because the team that's there, as you find out they're on another planet, because they look up at the sky at some point and like, I don't think we're on Earth anymore, Toto, or some shit like that. And they see 2 or 3 suns and moons and stuff like that, and they're like,
right.
oh shit, we're not in another bucket, we're in another place. And then they start to realize they're being hunted by the predator, and then like at some point someone asks a question why they're all here. And one was like a soldier from a war-torn area, another one was like killer, and actually the only person that didn't really add up until the very end where it made sense was Topher Grace. He was a weak little wimply little thing, but then you find out Topher Grace is a serial killer, and that's like at the end of it, like he's like kind of realizes what the fucking predator are, and he kind of has like a love for him, so he starts killing off some of the people himself and making it look like the predator did it. And then the end of it's like just Topher Grace and the guy that was like supposed to be like a Clive Owen replacement or some shit. And he like fucking and then the predator ends up helping him kill Topher Grace, and then he has like some respect for him to some degree. But still, man, like, I don't trust the aliens. If that actually is true, if that actually they do have deals with our government, then for one, fuck our government, and then for two, like, damn, I don't trust these fucking aliens. What if I'm one of them too? What if it is just like some kind of version? What's the kind of stuff that's like you thought the USSR was capable of? The sleeper agent type bullshit.
Right.
What if I already am one of the fucking aliens, and I'm so adamantly against it because they wired that into my personality so I could work against all of us?
Right.
Aliens are fucking crazy. That's
You're a
what
project.
I'm Project X. Wolverine. I'm never gonna get a girl. Because I will not shave. And I'm angry because I can't remember.
Pretty much. He was angry about that in the movie a lot.
And not being able to fuck Jean. Yeah. He's like, man, why does she want that guy with sunglasses? I understand he can shoot lasers from his eyes, but I got claws.
That guy's a mess. The guy who shoots lasers, you can't take him anywhere.
Yeah,
He's
honestly.
Like,
She's like, I just like him because he's the leader and I fuck upwards. Okay, Wolverine, you go back to being just the wild brawler, okay?
oh shit.
Come on, he's slammed enough salmon through his life anyway. Just because he can't remember it doesn't mean he's like didn't get it. You know, he had that girl during World War II, and then a girl. Yeah, Wolverine's fine. He probably even slammed Sabretooth just to see how it worked. I actually said that today on a fucking thing. Everybody was posting oh no, I remember it. So everybody's posting Omni-Man. You know what Omni-Man is? He's in Invincible on Amazon Prime. He's like an affectation of Superman, but if Superman was kind of evil.
Okay.
Just like, do you ever watch The Boys?
No, this is something you're going to be an expert on, not me.
Well, I mean, they're kind of two comic book things that I didn't read their comics. I only know they're popular because they're popular now. Like, I didn't read Invincible, but I watched the Invincible TV show. And The Boys, I understand as a comic, and I listened to Comics explain the comic. But anyway, they're pretty much showing the whole Marvel Universe on one side. And then they're showing Omni-Man and Homelander, who are the two bad versions. They're just Superman, who are just bad versions of Superman. Okay. And to be honest, like, they could be taken out by tons of characters that are in the background that they're about ready to kill. And it's like, come on, who would post this for one? So all the nerds instantly hit it up and go, the Hulk could take them out. The Hulk by himself could take Hyperion back there. In the back, there's like some god level creatures that could take out these guys, and I'm like, no, I got this. You see, Black Cat's over there in her tight ass little thing,
Right.
and those two are just notorious pussy hounds. So when they're trying to get up in Black Cat's guts, right, that gives Wolverine enough time to cry about how he never got Jean Grey. And then he could then go on a blood-fueled rage about how he never gets laid and stab them while they're not looking, trying to get them in the guts. Bam. Out of there. And all the nerds are like, in 10 years of Facebook, that was the greatest comment I've heard. I gotta read that actually guy's comment. I should read his words. I know my words better than his. That's the best comment I've read on Facebook in like 10 years.
Yeah, that world gets deep, that comic book world, man.
Yeah, well, the two characters they're like...
And all those superhero worlds.
I really like them, to be honest with you. They're not that confusing. You just pick and choose what you kind of like. That's the whole point of it, you know? Like, there's different ages, too. Like, everybody, too... A lot of arguments, too, that are online. That's what annoys me. I don't know if we should be the ones talking about it since we're not popular yet, but fucking all the arguments online are like, they're arguing different eras. I never was alive when there was a man Captain Marvel. The only Captain Marvel I remember was the one that got held by Rogue in the fucking animated series until Rogue became a version of Superman, and then she was awesome. And I liked Rogue, and then I remember Miss Marvel being a black lady named Monica Williams, and she was called Spectrum, and she was amazing. She had stupid awesome powers that seemed cool. They actually seemed to give some of the powers that Spectrum had. I know Spectrum's now out in the Wanda universe. I watched that TV show not too long ago, and she's like introduced into it. I knew her name was Monica Williams, but I didn't know how they were going to introduce her. But Spectrum was stronger than Miss Marvel, and they seem to make Spectrum, they nerf her like they nerfed Wanda in WandaVision, because WandaVision is supposed to be House of M, which is up here on the wall behind me somewhere. And it's supposed to be House of M, and it was Marvel's version to get rid of the X-Men because they lost rights to the X-Men and they wanted to make Inhumans popular. So it was actually kind of an epic storyline. We didn't realize how bad it was for our universe as people who like X-Men until after it was done, because the whole purpose of it was to delete X-Men. It was only to leave like 100 X-Men, because there were thousands of... X-Men was one of our most popular sellers, but we sold off Spider-Man, X-Men, and multiple parts of the Marvel universe. So when Disney took over, they actually didn't have rights to X-Men, and that's the reason they're just now being introduced. Like Spider-Man's just now being put into it, and they tried to introduce us as the Inhumans. We hated that because it's like, this is just mutants. Give us mutants. We don't care if it's owned by another company. Write comics, you dumb bitches. And now fucking the X-Men comics right now are some of the best X-Men comics of all time. Like, Professor Xavier has finally gotten over his, like, I'm only gonna be good. We should try and find a common peace with humanity, even though they fuck me over every time I do this.
Right.
And it's like, he's kind of like, sounds like Magneto now, and Magneto actually sounds reasonable, and like, fucking even Apocalypse has joined them, because he's technically still a mutant, and humanity gave up on all mutants. I feel like I'm rambling about a topic that you don't have any fucking verse on. Wait, we should go back to, like, fucking something you know. Because it's
all right.
Josh rambling about his
learning.
most favorite thing. Dude, I love comics. Actually, even comics that are not anything to do with fucking superheroes. Fight Club 2 and Fight Club 3 are only in comic form. And they're written by the original author, Chuck Palahniuk. And then I think they have an artist from Marvel on it. And those are excellent. He's raising two kids. They finally give that character a name. Sebastian is his name, but he didn't have a name in Fight Club, because Fight Club, you find out he's Tyler Durden,
Right.
but you never know his name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's like the whole purpose. So he actually ends up getting falling in love with Marla, and they get married, and they have two kids. And what's great about it is he's like, his other personality is teaching his kids how to make bombs, and Marla only liked fucking his other personality, so she's been replacing his Insano pills with sugar pills. And so his other personality's been coming back, and he's been working the internet to run like fucking third world operations and shit like that. Like, he's insane. And what's so great is you see how the fucking I wish I could. I don't really want to turn both cameras, but the pills are like all displayed on the thing. They do that one scene in the comic when she starts explaining that she replaced his pills. They display the pills over the top of the comic, and it like actually fills up some of the words, so you feel like you're tripping while you're reading the comic, because the pills are actually in front of all the words and the thought bubbles and shit like that. I don't know. It's
Well,
just
there's
great.
a lot of people like Fight Club.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a cult classic, right?
Yeah. It became kind of, I guess, toxic online for some people because I guess every dude liked it kind of like the same way that like the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess that's toxic now because, you know, a lot of really super masculine guys that hate all women kind of like posting a lot of Joker stuff. I've been told
Really?
that. I'm told that most Joker memes are kind of hateful. See, I follow everybody because I like to go to everybody. I even go to like YouTube stopped hosting a lot of like Republican opinions, so I like follow Rumble now and Odyssey and all the different libraries and stuff like that to where they have like their opinions. I like to follow everybody's opinions, and supposedly, Fight Club was well liked during my generation. So I don't think it's a big issue anymore. They probably have some new thing that they want to cancel or some shit. But people liking Fight Club was technically toxic, and their argument is people didn't even understand where Fight Club came from, which is probably true because some guys probably just like the idea of going, I'm a man and I need to fight my fucking powerhouse out. They could have got that whole idea from it, but it was written by a gay male who is trying to show the toxic part of us, our masculinity,
Oh, okay.
to some degree, and also how we could get into herd mentality, which could be argued part of both sexes, but he was specifically speaking to his own, and it was interesting how he did it. I mean, to be honest, a lot of things you could say philosophically were put into that thing, but people miss it when they don't realize who the author is and what he was aiming for. Chuck Palahniuk, I've read 2 of his books. I've read The Fight Club and Choke.
Okay.
And excellent. He also has a book that I heard is similar to like Animal Farm or something like that. It's like his version of Animal Farm. It's like kind of got like communist ideals, but like making fun of it in a way. And he's an interesting dude, that guy. I hope I said his name right, Chuck Palahniuk or whatever. He is excellent writer. Actually, to be honest, I might start downloading his Audibles next because I've
There you go.
been getting into Asimov recently, and I finished all the Dune novels.
For all the people that like that.
What do you like, though?
I like that. Fight Club's a great movie,
Dude, Fight Club is excellent.
so I'm sure I would like those comics. I know I would.
I really like Fight Club. That fucking song by Pixies is played everywhere.
Right.
Actually, every time you have a fucking movie where they're going to do some... As soon as I hear it, you don't even have to tell me you're doing split personality. As soon as I hear the fucking Pixies soundtrack in the background, and they'll always redo it. Like when they did that fucking steampunk Sucker Punch. You know? Did you ever see that? And they had like a girl version of... Where is my mind? Where is my mind? And then all these girls are going around killing Nazis that are steampunk and shit.
Okay.
And then they did it in Robot. They had like a piano version of it. You know, you ever watch Mr. Robot?
Steampunk is art too. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, steampunk's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Actually, the only thing that people seem to know steampunk from before the internet age was Wild West world. I went to a steampunk convention, and people were telling other people there that didn't understand what their convention was about. They go, "You ever watch Wild West World? It's like that." It's like steampunk because it's Wild West World. It's technology that works in a steam. It doesn't have to work like it, but it's supposed to look like it works like it. And a steam engine runs everything.
Okay.
Like it has to be in the era of 1800s and the Gilded Age, and maybe Victorian. They dress like they are from the Victorian era, which would have been between the 1600s up until the 1800s, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Don't yell at me, internet. But it's pretty close to that. I'm pretty sure the Victorian era comes up right up to it, but they dress like they're from the Victorian era, but then all the stuff that they're like using is like steam technology, stuff that would have been done during the fucking industrial age and Gilded Age. So their fist, like if they have like, say like there's a character in League of Legends that's called Vi, and she has fists that punch really hard, and the reason they punch hard is because they have all these steam punk pressured gears that will make her fist hit harder and shit like that.
Gotcha.
And it's all this stuff's supposed to work like just like in the Wild West. The fucking little what do you call it? The spider they were fighting at the end of it. The little mechanical spider.
Yeah.
It was all ran off of gears. Actually, gears is a big deal too. You don't even technically have to have steam to be in steampunk. You could do all gear based. Like they have clockwork type of stuff. And actually, there's different subsections of steam work.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, I know all these nerddoms. I've spent all my life online while depressed. and I've always sat on like the outskirts of every like fucking nerddoms group, you know. So I'm like, I was never a weebo, but I always sat with the anime kids when the other kids were busy, you know.
What's that?
Powering off. You need power. Did I not plug you in too? Hi, this is Zan from that podcast you just listened to. Be sure to join us next time. I'm sure the date's to be decided. But thank you for joining us on our very first podcast, and hopefully there will be more to come. Tell us what you enjoyed, or click all the buttons, or whatever. You know those things. Anyway, peace out.